Enraged, the Oni Baba sent 3 Oni to slaughter the ghosts. Eyo's ritual was surrounded by Mongol guardians. The ghosts had to defeat them all. The Mongols were dead, but Eyo's ritual was nearly complete. The Oni Baba was moments away from victory. The ghost sought Toro lanterns, infused with ki, to strengthen their weapons. To stop the ritual, the ghosts would have to attune their spirits at a Toro lantern infused with a kami's power. The spirits of the kami cried out to the ghosts. Their stolen ki was being used to give the Mongols divine protection. Unless the rituals were stopped and the kami set free, Tsushima could not be saved. The ghosts rid the ship of bandit spirits. The ghosts made landfall at a known pirate cove. From all across the seas, pirates had gathered, eager to serve Sukbatar, for he had promised them riches beyond belief, and all of Tsushima as a safe haven. As the final enemy fell, a voice cried out from a nearby cage. The ship grew quiet, and no more spirits emerged to challenge the ghosts. The ghosts needed no crew, for they had the help of the kami. A strong wind filled their sails, and with each passing moment they grew closer to Sukbatar. But a second ship raced to intercept the ghosts, as a fiery bombardment rained down upon them. The ghosts had defeated many of Sukbatar's spirits, but many more gathered aboard a mighty fleet, where they readied a final assault on Tsushima. The ghosts decided to take over one of these ships and use it to assail Sukbatar's fleet. The ghosts set out to find the rest of the spirit fleet and Sukbatar himself. The ghosts boarded the enemy ship. Strange lanterns swung on the seemingly empty deck, but in the fog, the ghosts saw the figures of spirits. After a day's travel, the ghosts came across a lone ship with its sails up. They quietly boarded the enemy vessel. An old dock led the ghosts deep into a graveyard of ships run aground, and on them Mongol, Ronin, and bandit spirits forced by Sukbatar to fight alongside one another. The cages opened, and the spirits vanished into the fog. They returned to their ship, eager to set sail. The spirits of the Ronin were released to the wind. With the Mongol crew defeated, the ghosts set sail down the coast. The Mongol spirits were put to rest, and Sukbatar's army weakened. The ghosts found freshly killed bodies in cages, their trapped spirits illuminated by hanging lanterns. As Sukbatar finally fell, his control over the spirits lifted, and they departed Tsushima. The ghosts celebrated their victory, but knew they'd face Iyo herself soon enough. At a conquered village, the Mongols had opened the door to the spirit realm. The ghosts resolved to destroy the ritual. This is a tale of dark rituals and powerful spirits. The Mongols wished to make themselves great, and used these rituals to steal ki from 3 elemental kami: Amaterasu, spirit of the sun; Tsukuyomi, spirit of the moon; and Susanoo, spirit of storms. The rituals were draining the kami of their ki, so the ghosts set out to save them. The ghosts found 3 more rituals, one beside a river, one at a war camp, and one within a canyon. But the Mongols had almost completely drained the kami. The ghost would need extraordinary strength to defeat them. The kami's ki flowed into the ghosts, giving them the strength to combat the Mongol ritual. At last, the Oni were slain. The rituals ended. The Oni Baba would not realize her plans. The ghosts were triumphant, and the kami were free. Balance had returned to the island. All was safe. For now, the kami drew the ghosts to the Toro lanterns, aglow with their ki, knowing their energy would help ensure the ghosts' victory. The ritual ended. The door between realms closed. But new rituals had already begun elsewhere. The ghost set out in search of these other threats. The ghosts ended the ritual, but their fight was far from over. Another ritual was stopped, and another door closed. But the ghost's work was not yet done. The final ritual had been stopped, and the ghosts breathed a sigh of relief. But the kami whispered to the ghosts that an even greater threat still remained. The darkest Mongol ritual was under the care of the great Onibaba, Iyo. The voices of the kami spoke to the ghosts, leading them deeper into the forest. With each passing minute, more spirits were trapped by the shaman, and they had grown angry. Though the ghosts only sought to help, they were attacked. The boar rushed to the safety of the trees. The ghosts arrived at a cemetery where restless Oni were digging up the dead. The ghosts hear nearby activity, barking dogs and metal striking the earth. The wild dog burst out, heading for the forest. The ghost could feel the shaman's presence, but even more powerful were the forest kami who stood alongside Uchitsune. It wasn't only the living the shaman desired to enslave. She had also bound animal spirits to prevent their rebirth. The fox escaped swiftly into the night. This is the tale of how even the kami themselves began to suffer when a foul shaman enslaved the forest spirits to serve Iyo, the Onibaba. Heeding a cry for help from the deep wilds, the ghosts found themselves joined once more by the noble Uchitsune. With the shaman dead, the animals of Kubara were saved, and the spirits of those under her control were released. But Iyo would not let this loss deter her. She had amassed even more power and grew irate at the ghost's interference. They had been ordered to do so by a vile shaman. Her magic turned peaceful creatures into vicious beasts. As the ghosts arrived, they felt the despair from more trapped spirits. Iyo had once fed off Uchitsune's spirit. When the ghosts freed him, she turned her attention on those who couldn't fight back. Barks and howls pierced the night as the animals felt the shaman's power close in. In life, the shaman was Iyo's attendant, but when that dark day came, she failed to save her master. Now the shaman is doomed to serve the great Iyo for eternity, slaving at a debt she can never repay. Kami did not often fight alongside the living, but the ghosts had proven themselves worthy, standing over their recently slaughtered corpses. The horses' spirits beckoned the ghosts. The cemetery grew quiet, except for the whispers of the fallen as they thanked the ghosts. Having recovered Iyo's infernal scrolls, the ghosts only had to defeat the remaining fire spirits. Another fire spirit lay crouched in the tower across the courtyard. The ghosts arrived at Fort Mitodake in search of Io's infernal scrolls. The demon had delivered these writings to her followers so they could aid her plans. If the ghost could steal the scrolls, they would know Io's plans. But the fort was guarded by deadly fire spirits. The fire spirit was destroyed, but more remained deep inside the fort. Fire rained down as the ghosts ran to the gate. Once again, the path was blocked. The gate splintered and the way opened. The ghosts arrived at the barracks. Io's infernal scrolls were hidden nearby. Io's army would reach Tsushima by building a bridge. Io's army was pushed back for a moment, and the portal was clear. The ghosts saw their opportunity to destroy it. The blood portal was destroyed, and with it, Io's connection to Tsushima was severed. But the ghosts realized their path was now open. They could pursue Io to her realm and stop the Onibaba once and for all. Atop the hill, Io's army made its final stand. With a resounding boom, the wooden gate shattered. The next courtyard was overrun with guards. Io planned to use an ancient ritual known as Hitobashira, a blood sacrifice to the gods that strengthened a structure so it could not be broken. The ghosts reached the top of the fort and found the iron gate sealed shut. The gate was shut, the path barred. The fire spirit was destroyed, but there was another close by. The ghost found Io's writings. They revealed she was building an army in the blood realms. The ghosts destroyed another fire spirit. Their brothers fallen. The remaining fire spirits became enraged, unleashing a relentless bombardment of flame and destruction. Another wooden gate blocked their way. The closer the ghosts came to reaching Io's plans, the more furious the spirits grew. The ghosts found powder to destroy the gate. Io's forces emerged from a blood portal, a gateway to her realm. If the bridge was completed and Io reached Tsushima, no power could stand against the great Onibaba. Some say the fire spirits were created by Mongols, but it was Io who gave them life, infusing them with her fury and rage, forging a weapon to destroy those who had wronged her. The gate slammed shut. The ghosts would have to find a way through the wall. The Mongols hoarded powder to feed the fire spirits, but it could also be used against them. A war horn pierced the night. The fire spirits had seen the ghosts. No one man can take on an empire. You must not know of the legends, then. I am Gyozen, the calligrapher. Would you like to hear them? Yes, it is written. Clear your mind. Close your eyes. But I know. I'm Gyozen, the calligrapher. Would you like to hear of the legends? You must not know of the legends, then. Would you like to hear of them? My lord, humble greetings. Have you heard of the ghosts of Tsushima? Somehow, Sukubatar had found a way to create Onryo, vengeful spirits. They followed his every order. Mongol, bandit, and samurai alike fell under Sukubatar's control. Through the fog came the spirits of the recently slain. They stepped over their own corpses to attack the ghosts. Clasped tightly In the man's hand was a blood-stained scroll, covered in strange symbols. The ghosts struggled to make sense of the cryptic writing, certain they were linked in some way to the spirits. In the distance, the ghosts heard the sounds of a Mongol patrol approaching. Puddles of blood darkened the pure white snow leading out of the village. Bloodstains led toward their window, as if someone had crawled there to escape. The remaining villagers, mangled and broken, were left to rot in a net like fish. Sukubatar sacrificed allies and friends alike to increase the number of spirits under his control, for he desired an army compelled to obey his every whim, one that knew no fear and could never retreat. The ghosts found the remains of a family, burned beyond recognition. The ghosts felt the heat from the rising flames. The dead littered the ground. Bloodied and terrified, a Mongol called out for help. The bodies of the dead Mongols bore the insignia of Sukubatar. The ghosts were on the right track. Suddenly, Sukubatar's voice boomed throughout the village. The fog around the docks floated slowly down the river. The ghosts watched as every Mongol fell before the spirits. The ghosts finally caught up to Sukubatar's forces. They moved into the burning town, eager to free the spirits from his grasp. Sukubatar's dreadful warriors had covered his escape. The ghosts moved on from the decimated village, knowing more would suffer the same fate if Sukubatar wasn't found and defeated. The spirits vanquished, the fog faded away. This is a tale of how the ghosts fought man and spirit alike. A Mongol named Sukubatar had found a way to enslave the dead before they could be reborn. He hoped to create an invincible army that would allow him to easily conquer Tsushima. With every enemy he killed, Sukubatar gained an obedient soldier. The ghosts sensed overwhelming suffering from a nearby building cloaked in fog. The ghosts followed the fresh blood, hoping someone lived through the onslaught. Chanting wafted from the nearby docks, obscured deep in the fog. Countless innocents brutally impaled, pain frozen on their faces. From the homes on the hill, screams pierced the air. The ghosts entered the fray with weapons raised. The fog around the large building slowly dissipated. The ghosts were angered by the slaughter of the village. The ghost followed the path until they came across a small, quiet village. But flashes of lightning revealed they were not alone. The ghosts found an unfinished ofura, an amulet meant to keep the spirits away. Bodies piled without care, still warm to the ghost's touch. Heavy footfalls approached. The ghosts readied themselves for battle. The remnants of a ritual scattered among the bodies, the same symbols they had seen before. Severed limbs lay scattered in the dirt and ash, another completed ritual. The Mongol's hand clasped a scroll outlining the path of Sukubatar's army. The ghosts set out in pursuit. The ghosts watched as spirits of slain samurai emerged from the fog to fight the Mongols. But they were too late. But even the samurai spirits were under Sukubatar's control and turned their blades on the ghosts. The veil between realms, tides of battle, Uchitsune and the kami of Kubara, the fire spirits of Yarikawa. I have many legends for you to enjoy. The deeds of the ghosts are many. Let me share one with you. Listen while I recount an adventure of the ghosts. Relax for a moment. Listen to these tales. The stranded dead, the liberation of Komatsu, the curse of the Onibaba, the tale of Iyo, Chapter 1, the tale of Iyo, Chapter 2. Excellent choice. One of my favorites. A harrowing tale. Let's begin. Choose, and I'll tell it. What legend would you like to hear? I'll share any story with you. Which of these legends interest you? Caravan of Thieves. Severed Hearts. The tale of Uchitsune, honoring the past. The defense of Aoi village. Silent voices. Blood in the snow. The crow demons of Otsuna. The Mongol's eyes glowed with strength stolen from the kami. The ghosts could sense the power stolen from Amaterasu by their foes. The ghosts discovered a pathway connected to the kami and sought to use their power. A path to the kami opened, and the ghosts accepted their blessing. Ferocious bears stood guard before their Mongol trainers. Starved for days by their Mongol captors, the bears bellowed for the flesh of the ghosts. Blazing spirits hissed in the distance, ready to rain fire on the ghosts. The ghosts could feel the eyes of a fiery spirit on them, taking aim from afar. Io sent forth an array of Oni, eager to take the ghosts' heads. The ghosts sensed the power of countless Oni ahead, all joined together to defeat them. Oni brutes awaited the ghosts, eager to devour their flesh. The ghosts readied themselves as the Oni's steps shook the ground. The ghosts heard Oni dogs barking and snarling in the distance. Oni dogs had the scent of the ghosts and howled in anticipation. Io's forces were well guarded that day by the fiercest Oni defenders. The sounds of their enemies banging weapons against shields echoed as the ghosts approached. Disciples of Io lurked nearby, and the scent of blood hung thick in the air. The ghosts could feel the intense power from the disciples of Io. Oni linked by Io's power stood guard that day. The ghosts sought to cut the ties that connected the Oni souls. The spirit of Uchitsune smiled upon the ghosts and gave them his mighty spirit bow. Uchitsune's spirit bow called out to the ghosts. Their hands itched to loose it upon their foes. The wind howled bitter cold as the spirits of the dead arrived. With each flash of lightning, the spirits were revealed to the ghosts. Crow feathers floated in the wind, a sure sign that Tengu were near. The harsh cawing of crows filled the ghosts' ears as they prepared for battle. This was the site of a terrible Oni ritual that invaded the spirit realm and enslaved the kami. Even Amaterasu could not break free. A Mongol named Sukbatar forced spirits to help him conquer Tsushima. Though he wished to add the ghost to his army, he found himself at the edge of their blades. My lord, let me tell you a story of demons and the ghosts who fought them. Have you heard the legend of the ghosts? There was once much more to fear than the Mongols. Listen, And I will tell you, the ghosts once protected Tsushima from a grave threat. Let me tell you of the trials they faced. My lord, do you think your blade could slay an Oni? What if they attacked from every side? I once knew a man who claimed to make a deal with a Tengu. It wasn't long before he disappeared. Kami are everywhere, my lord, watching, listening, waiting. Demons and spirits have always lived among us. Let me tell you a story of when they roamed free. I swear I saw the form of an Oni on the horizon as the sun set. It reminds me of yet another story. Be careful, my lord. Demons are everywhere, and they fear nothing. Though once they learned to fear the ghosts. This sacred forest is home to many kami. Some fought alongside humans, but others fought against them, drawing them deep into the forest, never to escape. There's a legend of a blazing spirit made of fire and iron, a demon forged by the Mongols. Only the ghosts were able to stop such terror. 4 warriors stood against the living and the dead. Spirits bound to this world and forced to fight. A bloody battle was fought in this place. But when morning came, no bodies were found. It's said a powerful witch raised them from the dead to fight by her side. Want to hear the truth? Many believe statues like this one contain the spirit of an Oni locked away forever. Once, someone sought to release these demons from their prisons, and they succeeded. There was a time when every twin on Tsushima feared for their life and their spirit. Let me tell you the tale. Some say Uchitsune killed innocent people because he's evil. Some say he did it because of a Tengu's curse. No matter the reason, his spirit has been seen wandering Hiyoshi, searching for redemption. Have you heard of the great battle that raged on this beach? 4 fearless warriors stood against hundreds of Mongols and Oni, willing to give their lives to protect Tsushima from complete destruction, a town plagued by endless war. As the story goes, Oni besieged these fields and burned the homes. Thankfully, 4 mighty warriors rose up to stand against the enemy. When the Mongols and Oni stood side by side, protected by gates and high walls, there were few who could challenge them. But 4 warriors once proved that even the strongest defenses can fall. The Mongols believed their superior numbers and Oni allies could win a war. But they quickly learned a determined group of samurai could not only push them back, but defeat them altogether. Have you seen the flocks of crows flying south? It could be the changing seasons are an omen of things to come. Let me tell you the legend of the Tengu, and you can decide. When the final demon fell, the chest was opened. The Oni were defeated, leaving their treasure to the ghosts. The cursed chest was freed, and the ghosts reaped their rewards. With the Oni dead, the treasure called out to the ghosts. Hostages cried out for help, and the ghosts answered. One of my lost scrolls. Some of my scrolls. I thought I lost them. I often forget the things I've written. My lost scroll. I thought it gone forever. The ghosts strike the bells to call for the Kami's aid. Samurai, Masters of the sword, ardent followers of a code of honor. There are things so dark and foul they could only be nightmares. The ghost faced such horrors, but for them there was no awakening, no escape. Gyozen's nightmare. The story has become grim. The ghost sought a challenge, and the challenge they received. The ghost faced a grave threat, one they would possibly fall to. A sense of dread rushed over the ghosts as they readied their weapons. That story wasn't as good as I remember. Not every tale ends in victory. The ghosts fell, but their story was not finished. I'll have to finish the story when I recall the proper ending. This story comes to an unfortunate end. A glorious and honorable end for our samurai. Kami smiled upon the ghosts. The ghosts were grateful for the spoils of their victory. A fitting end to a legendary tale. That's a tale that will stand the test of time. Ha! I always enjoy telling that one. The ghost fought well that day. Every great tale must come to an end. The ghosts were about to face dangers beyond any they had seen before. This is a story I hesitate to even tell you. Are you sure? It's not a story many have the stomach for. The ghosts gripped their weapons tight and prepared for a fearsome battle. A story filled with great terror. Listen closely and learn if the ghosts survived. Fearsome enemies met the ghosts in battle. This story is only for those truly ready to hear it. I hope you are. Can you handle a tale filled with fear and danger? When you hear this tale, you'll be grateful you weren't there. The ghosts stood against our foes without fear. But this time, they were almost taken from us. This tale has been known to take over the dreams of all who hear it. The ghosts never backed down. But one battle almost changed that. The cursed soldiers were empowered by Io's rage, her vengeful spirit. As long as she remained, they could not fall. The ghosts set free the captive. Many prisoners were freed, though Io's power had taken its toll. The ghosts knew their only hope of stopping Io was to save the other monks before she could consume their spirit. The ghosts discovered a terrible sight as they emerged from the gate. Honorable spirits held prisoner, used as stores from which the Onibaba fed. The ghosts struck out to free them. Honorable spirits held prisoner, used as stores from which Io fed. Tortured souls cried out. The ghosts followed the pain. The prisoners could not be freed until it was safe. Io's prisoners would be killed unless her army was defeated. The danger was too great for the prisoners to escape. This is the tale of Io, an Onibaba who gave birth to an inhuman army, imbuing them with an unnatural strength and a wicked hate that rivaled her own. The ghosts set out to stop Io before her army became invincible. The disciples dispersed, the prisoners freed. This army defeated. Io grew eerily silent. But had she been defeated? Or had she simply moved on to somewhere else? Although the ghosts freed the body, the spirit was no longer there. The ghosts hit their mark, but Io lived on, for they had only killed a servant, merely a follower, through ritual sacrifice and bloodshed, harnessing pain and anguish. The disciples of Io were able to power her army. As long as the disciples remained, her soldiers could not die. Beyond the gate, the ghosts sensed something vile. The smell of blood filled the air. The ghosts broke through the sea. Furious Oni came to its defense. The kami had kept their promise. Ahead of the ghosts was a broken path imbued with the kami's power. The ghosts felt the ground itself calling out for souls. But whose? The soul the ghosts held was consumed. The pillar before the ghosts had once been used to purify, but now it was desecrated. The ghosts felt power emanating from the gate before them. As their journey continued, fierce winds and blinding snow assaulted the ghosts. The hungry ritual swallowed the dead. But it wasn't their blood it desired. It craved the blood of the ghosts. Io's eyes hunted the ghosts. Freed from their prison, the kami promised to aid the ghosts. Io had trapped the kami inside their bell, harvesting their power for her invasion of Tsushima. The way forward was blocked. The ghosts searched for the key. As Io drew her last breath, the world she had created began to shudder and fade. Io was a threat to Tsushima no more. In victory, the ghosts proved that no one in all the realms of the living and the dead could oppose them. Though some did try. But that will be a tale for another time. The ghosts finally arrived in Io's realm, formed from her anguish at the moment of her death. The ghosts knew Io would find a way to open another path to Tsushima. The only option was to defeat her before she could. The corruption had been put to an end. In the distance, they heard the castle gate open. The ghosts rested a moment, clearing their minds. Once ready, they drew their weapons and prepared to join Io in battle. Before the ghosts was a bow they recognized well, the spirit bow of Uchitsune. The ghosts felt a strange energy coursing through their veins. As it pulsed, it revealed the spirit realm to them. A strange object appeared to the ghosts. What terrible purpose had it been given? Though the ghosts had freed the kami, some of Io's army had stolen their power. They waited, ravenous for the ghosts' souls. The ghosts could sense the bindings on the kami weaken. This is a story of sacred relics stolen for profane purposes, when the Mongols targeted divine artifacts, and how the ghosts rose to stand in their way. With the Oni leader defeated, Io's plan had failed. The statues and relics were returned to the temples and kept under watchful eye. For even today, some claim they feel the power of Oni pushing against their prisons, eager to enter our world once more. The ghosts reached their final location on the map in the Umugi swampland. Even the ghosts' best attacks could not pierce their flaming shield. They had to find their way around the Oni's defense. As the ghosts neared, they were met by a single monk. Though there were many stolen relics, the statue was nowhere to be found. The ghost continued searching below the temple. As their final enemy fell, the monk rushed into the burning temple. The ghosts defeated Mongol and demon alike, but more enemies were on the horizon. Oni found many ways to travel between the heavenly realms. Some even convinced humans to release them from their prisons. As the ghosts knew, a scout meant more Mongols were near. A fearsome Oni suddenly charged at the ghosts. The demon's eyes were as red and fiery as its massive shield. With all the Mongols defeated, there was only one enemy left for the ghosts to defeat. The Oni met the ghosts in battle, eager to protect the stolen statues and relics, eager to protect Io's army. The ghosts arrived at the first marked location on the map and planned their attack. The ghosts heard the rest of the caravan approaching. Along with the statue, the ghosts found a map with the path the Mongols were taking. Another group of Mongols appeared, intent on killing the monk. Countless statues and relics littered the grounds, stolen from the temples. The ghosts ran to help. The ghosts discovered the rest of the caravan's guards. Many believe temple statues hold great power, sometimes even containing the spirit of a kami. Other times, that of a demon. The cursed Mongols fell, their link shattered. A Mongol cart traveled up the road, escorted by foes protecting mysterious cargo. Inside, they made a grisly discovery. Human hearts, freshly harvested from the twins of Tsushima. They struck out, following the cart's direction. With their enemies slain, the ghosts were free to search the cart. The Mongols' eyes burned with dark flame, a sign of their dreadful bond. The ghosts arrived at a war camp to confront its gruesome leaders, but the captive twins were nowhere to be found. Cart tracks, cut deep in the ground, provided the only sign of where they went. The ghosts followed the trail. The enemy fell, but he was soon revived by the spirit of his tethered twin. This is a tale of blood and sadness, when vicious Mongols hunted every twin on Tsushima and captured their spirits. The island prayed for warriors to save the twins, and the ghosts answered the call. They tracked the captive twins to a Mongol roadblock. The Oni fell, vanquished by the ghosts. They would no longer prey on the twins of Tsushima. But a greater threat still lurked in the shadows. Only a powerful Onibaba could have tethered such spirits. But that is another story for another time. The twins were being used to strengthen Mongol soldiers by a deep and terrible power. But what this power was, the ghosts did not know. For now, their only hope was to find the twins alive. By reaping the hearts of Tsushima's twins, the Oni were able to tether themselves to each other, sharing a life force that could not be broken so long as one of them remained alive. The ghosts tracked the prisoners' trail through the camp. The ghosts found the carts, but not the twins. Only wheel tracks remained, leading deeper into the forest. The ghosts followed, determined to rescue the twins of Tsushima. The fearsome spirit of an ancient samurai appeared. The ghost cautiously approached the bow. Uchitsune found redemption and a new purpose, thanks to the ghosts. The Onibaba's servants arrived, determined to keep Uchitsune enslaved. Io's army fought with hellish fury. The ghosts rid Hiyoshi Springs and Uchitsune of the terrible curse. The ghosts freed the village, but more cursed Mongols swarmed the inn. This is the tale of Uchitsune, an archer whose skill rivaled the power of Iyo, the great Onibaba. Fearful, she trapped him in a cursed place, enslaving and torturing him with the misdeeds of his past. The ghosts set out to free the warrior from Iyo's grasp. Iyo's disciples were gone. Hiyoshi Springs was quiet. Uchitsune was an archer of legend, known for saving an entire kingdom from a fearsome demon known as Kotengu. The town of Hiyoshi Springs was overrun with invaders seeking Iyo's power. Uchitsune led the ghosts to Hiyoshi Springs, a swift and clean kill, a ghost killed from the shadows. The enemy never saw it coming. Silent blade, silent kill. A ghost caught their enemy unaware. Ah, a perfect kill. An enemy dropped, lifeless. The shadows brought death. A ghost attacked, quiet as the wind. A ghost's blade found its mark. The assassin cut through foes like a winter storm. The ghosts proved no foe was too powerful for them. The ghosts caught their breath as the last foe fell. The ghosts proved superior once more. Again, the ghosts stood victorious. The enemy lost some of their strongest warriors to the ghosts. Together, the ghosts were an unstoppable force. Even the strongest fell before the might of the ghosts. The combined power of the ghosts was too much for the enemy. The ghosts' victory was a sight to behold. The ghosts knew no enemy could defeat them. The enemy sent their strongest men to battle. The ground quaked as the enemies approached. A great challenge came to the ghosts. The ghosts knew a challenge awaited them. The strongest enemies were sent against the ghosts. The enemies were certain they'd kill the ghosts. Strong foes met the ghosts in battle. The ghosts knew they needed to focus on the powerful new threat. When the ghosts saw their next foes, they took a deep breath. The ghosts were faced with enemies more powerful than before. The ghosts felt the approach of an overwhelming force. The ghosts' fight had led to this moment. The ghosts refused to let each other fall. A grave threat arrived. Dangerous foes charged at the ghosts. The Mongols and Oni invaded Aoi village like a locust swarm, eager to feed their vast army. They filled their bellies with food harvested by the Sutsu farmers, who were only given the scraps on the ground. As the ghosts entered the village, they knew the Mongols had already eaten their last meal. The ghost struck a devastating blow to the Mongols, and the Aoi village's food could be sent throughout Tsushima once more. The Mongols and Oni, who had plagued Tsushima for so long, found themselves backed up against a cold, unforgiving sea. With nowhere to turn, they made their stand. The ghosts began the assault, painting the pure white snow a warm, vivid red. The battlefield grew quiet, and a great weight was lifted from Tsushima's shoulders. But the ghosts knew that more threats would come. Protected by mountains and sea alike, Fort Kaminodake was one of the last bastions of Mongols and Oni. As long as it stood, their grip on the island could not be loosened. But the ghosts were eager to pry the Mongols' lifeless fingers from Tsushima's throat. The ghosts Let the cool sea air wash over them as all of Tsushima felt the Mongols' hold weaken. The island could breathe again. The ghosts retreated to fight another day. The ghosts were defeated, but their resolve was unbroken. The ghost would return to fight once more. Victory was out of reach, but the ghosts would soon return. The ghosts had met defeat, but they knew victory would come another day. Every tree in the sacred Kashine forest was planted to honor a fallen warrior. The Mongols cut down those very trees to craft a new prison ship designed to tear people from their homes and feed the Mongol war machine. The ghosts vowed to honor the fallen and protect the living. They descended on the Mongols like a mighty storm. As their final enemy fell, the ghosts celebrated their victory and set out for Kashine to replant every sacred tree that had been lost. The ghosts knew that if they destroyed this camp, Mongol commanders awaiting orders would be met with utter silence. As the ghosts cut the final Mongol throat, the enemy's vast network fell silent, and the invaders' war plans were paralyzed. Death descended from above. They never saw doom fall upon them. The sky brought death. A ghost attacked from above. Death plunged from the heavens. Death rained down from the sky. A ghost delivered death from high above their enemy. A ghost leapt, and an enemy fell. The ghosts struck like lightning. A ghost's blade plunged deep into their foe. A ghost used all their deadly tools. A precise and deadly strike. A ghost had many weapons. The enemy had no time to react. An enemy fell to a clever attack. A ghost was unstoppable. Enemies fell quickly. A ghost attacked swiftly. A ghost's blade cut down foe after foe. A ghost became a storm of blades. As one foe fell, a ghost flew to strike another. Enemies watched in terror as their allies fell. The enemy's numbers dropped quickly. A ghost showed no hesitation. A ghost attacked with brutal speed. Ghosts never left their wounded to die. Help came to the wounded ghost. A ghost entered the battle once more. A ghost gathered their strength. The ghost felt their strength return. The ghost stood ready to fight. The ghost rescued their ally. The ghost refused to give up. The enemy would regret not killing the ghost. The ghost stood and sought revenge. A wounded ghost fell to the ground. A ghost's wounds sent them to their knees. A ghost fell, but still drew breath. One of the ghosts was taken out of the battle. The enemy wounded a ghost. A ghost sat on the verge of death. A ghost barely clung to life. A ghost couldn't stand on their own. A ghost called out for help. A ghost's vision began to darken. The hunter's arrows pierced their enemies' hearts. Only one ghost still stood. The ghost's allies had all fallen. Though they were the last ghost standing, their resolve did not falter. The ghost knew that to fall meant eternal defeat. The ghost fought for their fallen allies. A ghost went beyond the call. Nothing could stop the ghosts. The ghosts were never satisfied. The ghosts gave everything they had. There was nothing too difficult for the ghosts. The area was overrun. Enemies flooded in. The ghosts' defense had been breached. The ghosts' foes advanced without fear. The ghosts' defeat was imminent. Death advanced one step closer to the ghosts. The enemy's concentrated attack was successful. The assault threatened the ghost's defense. The ghost's defense began to crumble. The ghosts risked losing their foothold. A disciple fell to a ghost. A ghost downed a disciple. The disciple was mortally wounded. The disciple's tie to her allies was severed. A ghost defeated a disciple. An Oni breathed its final breath. A ghost downed an Oni. The Oni was no match for the ghosts. The Oni's malevolent body grew still. A ghost returned the Oni to its realm. The Oni's beating heart became silent. A ghost defeated an Oni. An Oni's corruption ceased. An Oni met its demise. Iyo lost a powerful ally to the ghosts. Death struck from a distance. A ghost wrought destruction from afar. A ghost's aim was true. A ghost hit their mark. An enemy fell to a ghost's perfect aim. A ghost finished off a Tengu. The crow's cawing was silenced. A ghost defeated a Tengu. The Tengu's power faded. A Tengu fell to a ghost. A ghost struck true. A ghost landed a perfect strike. A ghost found an opening. The foe met their match. The enemy fell to a counterattack. The Ronin stood between their allies and death. The samurai showed unmatched skill. The ghosts rested a moment. The ghosts knew more enemies would come. Their enemies defeated. The ghosts prepared to face more. As the last body fell, the ghosts enjoyed a moment of peace. The ghosts knew they needed to prepare for reinforcements. The ghosts took a moment to celebrate their victory. The ghosts fought back the enemy, but they were not yet done. The sounds of battle subsided for a moment. The cries of the ghosts' enemies grew silent. The ghosts lowered their weapons as the battle ended. More enemies were still to come. The ghosts were not yet finished. Reinforcements were on their way. The enemy had not finished their assault. The ghost prepared for more battle. The enemy's footsteps grew nearer. More enemies approached. The reinforcements arrived. The ghosts readied themselves for another attack. Even more men were sent into battle. The ghosts had no time to rest. Io's forces hadn't given up. The ghosts' fight was far from over. The ghosts stood their ground as more enemies approached. The ghosts readied themselves for anything. The enemy had not yet given up. The enemy gathered their forces for another assault. The enemy refused to retreat. The ghosts could sense more enemies on their way. The ghosts braced themselves for another battle. The ghosts reached the cave and sensed great power inside, something unnatural, beyond just human. The ghosts crossed the river. The crows grew louder. The evil was near. Ah, yes, the crow demons of Ochana. When the Mongols and the demons conspired to take a village in Kubara, and a mysterious legend awaited the ghosts somewhere in the cavernous darkness. Our story begins with a fisherman in need. The path wound deeper. Below the ghosts stood a figure surrounded by crows. Its black eyes searched for prey, hungry. Wherever the Tengu go, crows surely follow, as do terrible things. Tengu are tricksters, manipulators. Some say they can even invade dreams and possess the mind and spirits. The ghosts arrived only to find Otsuna village had been visited by death and destruction. The Tango defeated. The cave grew silent, and the ghosts found themselves before Kojiro. Not the living legend Kojiro. This Kojiro, he was no longer of the living. With Kojiro slain, Iyo could no longer control the Tengu and was unable to rally the people to her cause. But the crows of Otsuna were only part of her plan. The monastery loomed over the trees in the distance. The ghosts pressed on, searching for the source of the Tengu. The ghost traveled toward the mountains, hoping they could stop the Tengu and find the cave that had terrified the villagers. The spear can be defeated with proper training. Some attacks cannot be blocked, so warriors learn how to dodge these blows. Ghosts are not idle in their victories, but purposeful in the expression of their achievements. Some say the ghosts possess abilities far beyond our own. They are able to focus their senses and detect an enemy's presence from afar. It is said the ghosts can scale sheer cliffs with inhuman speed. All ghosts work as a team to develop the ideal plan of attack. In the heat of battle, recovered items from a fallen foe can provide an advantage. Ghosts claim valuable resources from the dead. When a ghost falls in battle, their allies never leave them behind. Downed warriors are healed to fight again. The ghosts carry many tools of war. Kunai, interrupt Efo. An assassin's greatest skill is to become an unstoppable force of death, moving like lightning between foes. When they control the high ground, hunters rain death on all their foes. Together, the ghosts strike down all who threaten Tsushima. In these times of war, stories of the ghosts inspire villagers, warriors, and lords across Tsushima. Some have begun leaving gifts as tribute. A hunter delivers varying attacks with their arrows. Some arrows pierce the thickest armor, while others contain the spirit of the fire kami. Hunters create arrowheads made of lightning to stun their foes. They focus their aim so multiple arrows fired at once still hit their mark. Hunters are one with the bow. They slay Oni from across the battlefield with a single well-placed arrow. When the Mongols landed on our shores, they unleashed a terrible host of Oni upon the land. These demons were a threat to our very souls, and the ghosts of Tsushima rose to fight it. Some say there is only one ghost, but in fact there are many. The ghosts are brave samurai and cunning ronin, precision hunters, and silent assassins. They battle to save our home, and I share their stories with all of Tsushima. But their tales are incomplete, full of mysteries even I cannot see. I ask you to help me find the truth, to uncover the legends of Tsushima. While hunters strike from a distance, Assassins creep close to kill their victims without a sound. One final ghost fills our stories with heroic deeds. The Ronin fought for the people and the spirits of Tsushima. These warriors heal their allies, and some say can even raise the dead. Ronin may be masterless, but they do not fight alone. In times of great need, Ronin heal their wounded allies. Awakened by Mongol hordes who ravage our sea and shore, Oni slaughter whole villages. Demons descend from the mountains, and haunted spirits rise from ancient graves. Tsushima needs these heroes now more than ever. The ghosts fight side by side against the evil that threatens our home. Listen closely to their stories and help me discover what is unwritten. Help me uncover the legends of Tsushima. The ghosts mark important locations for their allies to find. The ghosts can summon the spirits of Kami to aid them in battle. A handful of slowing powder weakens all nearby foes. Ghosts use smoke to conceal their actions. The most powerful Ronin call on the blessing of the Kami to heal all of their allies at once. But defense is just as important as an attack. The ghosts mastered the art of blocking and parrying to gain the advantage. Mongol soldiers are no match for Tsushima's finest warriors. Samurai fight for honor, legacy, and their noble lords. The history books are filled with the heroic feats of these courageous warriors. First, I will tell you of the samurai. They fought for their honor, family, and home. Samurai do not know fear and bravely meet any challenge. Samurai are one with their katana. They know when to deliver a single heavy strike and when to overwhelm the enemy with a flurry of slashes. The most skilled samurai master the ultimate expression of explosive force. Samurai are capable of channeling the power of Kami through their katana, draining their opponent's life. A skilled assassin can end lives like a whisper in the night. Assassins are shadows in the night. They abandoned the samurai code for the art of stealth and deception, all to line up the perfect kill and visit death upon their victim. They fly quietly from roof to roof as if carried by light winds. Assassins stalk unseen through the grass, hidden from their enemies until they strike. Assassins are both respected and feared for creating a new art of war based on stealth and adaptability. The ghosts often take to rooftops and avoid the gaze of watchful guards. They glide across ropes and rigging with effortless grace. Assassins can vanish into the air, becoming invisible spirits, able to inflict the ultimate surprise attack. The ghosts seek out their enemies, stopping at nothing to defend our home.